Hello boys and girls. Today we are going to begin with a new magazine, the one I gave you today. It's called Holidays, and this is the cover. This is the cover of your magazine. We can see a boy with a t-shirt that says USA. So he's probably celebrating 4th of July because he also has the flag over here. We're going to take a look at some holidays that are only celebrated in the United States of America. But before we begin with that, let's see what are national holidays. So you may open your magazine and we're going to read about national holidays. It says the United States of America is a great big country. Let's see if I can get that thing out of my screen. It is your country. It is our country. Let's take a look at the picture. And you can read these as many times as you want because luckily you also have the magazine with you at home. Alright, let's move these over here because we're not going to use it yet. And here we go. It says, you live close to some people. In our country, you live far from others. But we are all part of one country. We celebrate the same national holidays. A national holiday is a day to honor a person or event that is important to our country. Some national holidays honor American heroes. A hero is someone who does something brave or important to help others. So we have some national holidays to honor heroes too. And we're going to look about that in just a bit. So as you can see, this is a picture of our country. And here we have the Statue of Liberty and it says celebrate American holidays. And this is all the United States territory. And we have all sorts of children, right? They all look different. And here's Florida, right over here. That's where we live. Alright, let's turn the page and get into our main lesson for today. We are going to talk today about President's Day. And we have President's Day in the month of February. We just had it about 2 months ago. Alright, so let's read about it. It says President's Day is a national holiday. It honors all our presidents. The president is the leader of our country. It says over here, the Statue of Liberty has a beard now, and it says President's Day, 3rd Monday of February. That's when we celebrate President's Day. And let's take a look at him. Do you remember him? His name is George Washington, boys and girls, and he was the first president of the United States. So after we won that long war against England, against Britain, and we had to tell the king that we wanted to be free, he became the first president. So let's read a little bit about him. Long ago, President's Day honored only George Washington. George Washington was our first president. Back then, the holiday was called George Washington's birthday. We celebrated it on February 22nd. February 22nd is George Washington's birthday. And here you can see pictures of many other presidents, right? Let's get a close view of them. All of these are pictures of presidents of the United States. And we get to the last one. This is our current president, not the last one, right? Because we don't know who's going to be the last one. It's actually not going to be last ones, right? This one was the one who came before Donald Trump. And Donald Trump is our current president. And at the bottom, we can see a girl. She's writing. Looks like she's writing a letter, right? And it says, today we honor all our presidents, but especially George Washington and Abraham Lincoln. Can you find their pictures? Let's see if we can find their pictures. This is George Washington. And over here you have Abraham Lincoln. Alright, boys and girls, so don't forget you can look at this magazine as many times as you want. We are going to put this magazine away. Well, we don't have to put it away, but I want to do something with you before we get into the puppets, because I bet you realize already that we're gonna make presidents some arts and crafts for presidents, right? For the President's Day holiday. So let's take a look at these two worksheets. You have these two worksheets to complete in this lesson. You have one for George Washington, and you have another one for Abraham Lincoln. But before we get to the Abraham Lincoln one, I want to write with you something about George Washington. So I want you to begin by writing your name at the top of the page. You go ahead and write your name and last name at the top of the page. And then we are going to write something about George Washington. We're going to write the most important thing about George Washington. And what's the most important thing that we know about George Washington? Well, that certainly is that he was the first president of the United States. So we're going to write his name over here. I know we have a lot of lines. We're not going to use all that space. If you want, you can begin right here under the flag, or you can begin over here. I'm going to begin right over here. I'm going to write his name. His name was George Washington. George oh, this is moving. All right, here we go. George Washington was the first president of the United States, and that's how we started having the President's Day holiday. So George Washington was the first president of that was Bella, boys and girls. George Washington was the first president of the United States. Even though we continue on another line, we don't begin with uppercase because it's not a new sentence. So this is the name of our country. United States. And now that we're done, we put a period at the end. So here you have one page done. George Washington was the first president of the United States. Very good. So now if you finish, you want to pause the video, you can do so. And as soon as you finish, you can go ahead and color your pictures. You can color the flag and you can color George Washington. You can look at the book, right? You have a very good picture here in your magazine of George Washington. Alright, so we're going to put this one aside because we're done with it. I know you have it in a packet. You don't have to put it aside. You leave it the way it is. And we're going to move on to Abraham Lincoln. Here we have Abraham Lincoln, and we're going to write a bit about him. So we're going to write his name. Oh, do not forget to write your name. Very important that you write your name and last name. And I'm going to begin writing right here. I'm going to begin writing his name. His name begins with letter A. Abraham Lincoln. What do we know about Abraham Lincoln, boys and girls? We know that he was one of the first presidents of the United States. But he was actually president number 16. Yeah, that is right. He wasn't the second one, not even the 5th or the 10th. He was the 16th president of the United States. So Abraham Lincoln, this is what we're going to write, was the president. Okay, come on. I'm sorry that these move so much. President number number 16 of the United States. So first came George Washington, and after other 14 presidents came Abraham Lincoln. And he was very important. While he was a president, boys and girls, he was able to abolish slavery. And that's when the Civil War happened. We're going to learn about the Civil War later on. So here we go. If you want to pause the video right now, you can do so to copy your sentence. Abraham Lincoln, I'm sorry, that was David. Abraham Lincoln was the president number 16 of the United States. Do not forget, when you finish copying your sentence, you can color your picture of Abraham Lincoln, and you can also color your flag. By the way, this is a letter L, just in case you cannot see very well. Once you're ready, boys and girls, once again, you unpause the video. And now we are going to get into our puppets. I know you're going to have lots of fun with these. So let's get into it now. Alright, so let's say that you are done with these now. And here we have the 2 brown bags. I didn't bring extras, so I already used my brown bags. And you also have these pictures. So as you can see, this is how you're going to assemble your puppet. So this is George Washington's head, and these 2 are his arms. And over here we have his suit and his legs. So after you finish coloring these 2, I want you to color these 2. When you finish coloring, you're gonna go ahead and cut them out. When you see the scissors, you're gonna cut out your head. I'm sorry, not your head. You're gonna cut out George Washington's head for the puppet. The arms, you're also going to cut the suit and his legs. And if you are ready with that, you had it cut, and then this is what you are going to have now. You're gonna take out your brown bag. You see, you're gonna go ahead and take out your brown bag, and you're also going to take out your glue stick, and now you're going to assemble your puppet. So you're done coloring, you're done cutting, and it's now time to put all the pieces together. So I want you to keep your eyes, be careful with these, because you want your puppet to be able to move, right? So as you can see, this is the bottom of the bag. So you make sure you glue the head of your puppet on the bottom of your bag so it moves. And then you are going to glue the suit over here and his arms. You can glue the arms under the suit, and you can glue the legs over here. You can see the legs. I'm sorry, that leg didn't come out too nice. And now the cool thing about this puppet is that you can put your hand in. I'm gonna show you how you're gonna put your hand in. You're gonna put your hand in, and now your puppet can move. And you can kind of pretend to talk for George Washington. Alright, here we go. So let's take a look at it, and one more time. So you can see how you're gonna glue the head on the bottom of the brown bag, and then the legs are the last part. Don't forget, you color first. Right now, boys and girls, you're going to notice that you're missing something. George Washington doesn't have a face, so we have to draw eyes. We're gonna draw eyes over here. So these are gonna be my eyes. You're gonna draw eyes. The eyes can be 2 circles. You can draw a nose, and you can draw a mouth. You see? And now George Washington has a face. And that's going to be your puppet. You're going to do the same thing, boys and girls, for Abraham Lincoln. So you have Abraham Lincoln's head over here. And by the way, you have a little picture here of how it's going to look like at the end. Here you have his head. And here you have the rest of his body. His suit, his legs, and his arms. And then after you color, you can cut. Once again, you color, then you glue. I'm sorry, no, you color, then you cut. After cutting, you are going to glue everything together. Once again, you make sure you glue the head on the bottom of the bag. And so when you put your hand in, it moves. And here we have his suit, his arms, and his legs. Alright. So once again, this is a movable puppet because you can put your hand through it and play around with it. So once again, Abraham Lincoln doesn't have a face. We're going to draw a face for Abraham Lincoln. So we're going to put eyes. We're going to give Abraham Lincoln eyes. You can use a marker or you can use your pencil. We're going to give him a nose. And we're going to give him a mouth, right? A happy face. We're going to give him a happy mouth. Alright, boys and girls. So this is your Abraham Lincoln puppet. And this is your George Washington's puppet. And they are best friends, right? Because they were both presidents of the United States. And they're all yours. Now, I want you to keep your puppets, but I need to make sure that you did them. So once you're done with your puppets, I want you to send me a picture of them together. Ask someone to send a picture. Ask mommy to take a picture and send it to me. So I can give you a grade for making your puppets. Alright, so the puppets are yours. You keep them and play with them. And don't forget, this is George Washington and Abraham Lincoln. So you always remember two of the most important presidents of the United States. Alright, boys and girls, I say bye to you for now. Until tomorrow. Have a good night. And do not forget to send me your pictures of the puppets. Alright, bye. See you tomorrow.